You know Mufasa, but what if I told you he wasn't the first king of the Pride Lands, not even close? Welcome to the Royal Bloodline, the series where we uncovered the true history of the Lion King's royal family, based on the official Disney canon and the timeless legends fans have carried for generations. Before Mufasa, before Simba, there were rulers whose names echo through myth and memory, forgotten kings, lost stories, and half-remembered truths. In this first episode, we go back to where it all began, before the Circle of Life was named, before Pride Rock became the symbol of monarchy. We begin with the oldest names in the Pride Lands, and ask, who were the very first kings? In this series, we're uncovering every king who shaped the Pride Lands, one by one, their myths, their legacies, and the truth hidden in the stars. That's how names like Mohatu and Ahadi became part of the royal bloodline in the hearts and minds of millions. But if there's one name whispered in ancient winds, it's his. Mohatu first appears in The Brightest Star, a children's book released shortly after the original film. It's not a movie, not even a show, but for many, this book planted the seed of the Pride Lands' deeper past. In the story, the Pride Lands are struck by a terrible drought. Water disappears, the rivers dry up, and animals begin to argue, fight, and suffer. Mohatu, the reigning king, does something radical. He leaves, not in retreat, not out of fear, but in pursuit of peace. He walks for days. No food, no water, just the hope that somewhere someone will listen. That peace is still possible. He faces predators, hostile herds, sweltering heat, but he does not stop. Eventually, through diplomacy and compassion, Mohatu convinces others to help. As water returns to the Pride Lands, life is restored. The animals look up to the sky and see the brightest star appear, and the story tells us it's Mohatu, now honored among the stars. There's a beautiful symmetry here. This story mirrors Mufasa's appearance in the sky decades later. The connection is never made outright, but fans noticed. To them, Mohatu wasn't just a hero, he was the first star, the origin of that celestial tradition. But Mohatu is more than just a savior in a single tale. In the retellings, his character grows. Fans describe him as a lion of calm authority, someone who led by presence, not dominance. He was said to walk among his subjects, speaking to elephants and birds as equals, never raising his voice unless injustice was done. In some fan versions, he introduced the first tenets of the Circle of Life philosophy, long before it was formalized under Mufasa. Some even say Mohatu once told his pride, "The rains will return, not by force, but by unity." His words became legend, carried on the wind like a promise from the heavens. Do you consider Mohatu canon? Let me know in the comments. I read them all. Legends also say Mohatu ruled during a time when the Pride Lands were still forming their laws and rituals. Some imagine him choosing Pride Rock as the royal seat. Others suggest it was he who first walked the ridge that would later hold the future kings. His rule was foundational, not because he built monuments, but because he modeled a kind of leadership that echoed through generations. Over time, Mohatu became known as Mufasa's grandfather in fan circles, not because it was stated in a film, but because it fit. He embodied the ideal king, wise, selfless, far-seeing. Even without canon confirmation, his myth felt real. For many fans, Mohatu is more than a name. He's a spiritual figure, the first to become a star, the one who still watches silently over the bloodline. In artwork, he's often depicted as grand and gentle, with a full dark brown mane and eyes deep with memory. Of course, the truth is this. Mohatu was never confirmed by Disney as official canon. His story was licensed, but not acknowledged in any on-screen work. And in recent years, particularly after the release of the 2024 Mufasa film, his name has been left behind. Still, fans continue to speak of him. In fan fiction, artwork, and deep dive YouTube videos, Mohatu reigns, because even if he's not part of the canon, he's part of the culture. And if Mohatu's legacy is written in stars, what comes next is written in scars. And if Mohatu was the ideal king, Ahadi was the king who broke his own house. In the book, A Tale of Two Brothers, which is no longer considered canon but remains beloved by fans, Ahadi plays a central role as the father of both Mufasa and Taka, who would later be known as Scar. He is portrayed as a firm but fair ruler, grappling with the challenges of fatherhood and kingship. In that story, Mufasa is clearly favored. Ahadi brings him along on royal duties, praising his discipline and strength. Meanwhile, Taka feels left behind, jealousy festers, and when Taka devises a plan to embarrass his brother, it backfires. He's injured by a charging buffalo, leaving him scarred both physically and emotionally. When Ahadi learns the truth, he is not cruel, but distant. He doesn't punish Taka, but neither does he comfort him. That silence, some say, was louder than any words. Where Mohatu is the starry-eyed symbol of peace, Ahadi is more grounded and more tragic. Unlike Mohatu, whose leadership is often imagined as peaceful and visionary, Ahadi is remembered for the tensions and conflicts that surrounded his rule. In fan interpretations, he's a lion of discipline, proud, strong, but emotionally distant. He ruled with clear expectations and structure, but lacked the warmth that might have united his family. His favoring of Mufasa over his younger son, known in old tales as Taka, but later as Scar, though perhaps rooted in leadership potential, created a rift that would echo for generations. Some fans imagine that Ahadi was the first king to attempt codifying the circle of life, not as a belief, but as a law. Others suggest he struggled with the growing complexity of ruling a diverse kingdom. The hyenas, already marginalized, may have begun drifting during his reign. Conflicts between rival species may have grown, and while he maintained order, Ahadi may have done so at the cost of trust and understanding. Stories tell of a time Ahadi warned his council, "A kingdom ruled by fear is already broken." His voice may be lost to time, but his message lingers like a lesson not yet learned. Yet even in these imagined failings, his role is pivotal. He shaped both of his sons, Mufasa, who learned the weight of responsibility, and Scar, who learned what it felt like to be passed over. His leadership style, whether wise or flawed, created the conditions that led to one of the most infamous rivalries in Prideland's history. In the fan community, Ahadi became a symbol, not of greatness, but of consequence. He was the hidden architect of everything, the unseen hand that set the stage for tragedy. His story inspired countless fan theories, illustrations, and roleplays. On forums and in fan fiction, he was debated, rewritten, and mourned. Some even gave him a mate, Uru, and imagined her as the quiet strength behind the throne. Ahadi may not be canon, but he is deeply felt. He represents a kind of legacy not built on glory, but on the long shadows kings leave behind. Still, like Mohatu, Ahadi has been left behind. In the 2024 Mufasa film, we learn that Mufasa was not born royal. He was an orphan, raised on the edges of society, who earned his place through action. Scar, originally named Taka, was the prince. When Mufasa saves him as a cub, he's adopted into the royal family. That's the new canon. But that's not where the story ends, because what Disney leaves out, fans carry forward, which means Ahadi never existed. His name isn't mentioned, his story is replaced. At the family dynamics shift entirely. The mythology resets, but the memory, that lingers. Scar still carries pain, Mufasa still radiates grace. The echoes of Ahadi, whether canon or not, are baked into who they became. So what does this all mean? What counts as real in The Lion King? Disney's canon is selective. It chooses which stories to preserve and which to discard, but that doesn't mean the rest are worthless. Mohatu and Ahadi might not be on screen, but they live in the fan consciousness. They shape how we interpret the movies. They influence how we understand these characters. They are the shadows behind every coronation, the ghosts beneath every sunrise at Pride Rock. These kings aren't just characters, they're reflections of leadership, of legacy, of love and failure, and their stories are the path we'll follow, one ruler at a time. These kings, Mohatu, the Star King, and Ahadi, the father who tried, aren't just forgotten names. They are the roots of everything that followed. Their stories still echo through Mufasa, through Simba, through every roar atop Pride Rock. They remind us that true kings aren't always born, they're made. In storms, in silence, in sacrifice. Whether Disney remembers them or not, we do. What do you think? Should we honor the legendary kings passed down through fan stories, or stick to the official tale as Disney now tells it? Are Mohatu and Ahadi part of your Lion King legacy? Or do you believe the bloodline truly begins with Mufasa? And in our next episode, we follow the cub who would change everything. Mufasa, not born to be king, but destined to lead. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Lion King lore, give the video a like, subscribe for the full Royal Bloodline series, and share it with a fellow fan of the Pridelands. Help us bring the forgotten kings of the Pridelands back into the light.